The first case here looks like a pretty standard affair, probably even something you would completely dismiss buying, but it's actually coated all the way around with a compound that responds to thermal changes. So when you hold your finger against it, if hot liquid spills on it, or even if the temperature around you changes, you'll be able to see the dark parts of this case pretty quickly changing to a vibrant red, and all the way back again. The second case is equally, if not more crazy, in its own way. It comes with a separate box containing what looks like a metal business card, but inside the main box, what you're getting is even more surprising. Inside this metal outer casing, we've got the Advent Gold, a $1,500 bumper case. To call it a little crazy would be an understatement. It's made using machined aerospace grade 5 titanium with a gold titanium nitride coating. Not to mention, this case is one of only 100 in circulation. It's a dual layer case, and the inside has this track on it, which means that once you've slipped it onto your iPhone, the friction alone stops it from falling off. So, from wacky in terms of price to wacky in terms of concept, this is Casey, and it is a smart case. It has a pretty high resolution display on the back, which with one tap of a button can display whatever wallpaper you want. Not to mention, it can contribute to your phone's battery, storage, as well as audio quality. As you can see, the one I've got here is very much a prototype model. This is still in production, but it's currently in crowdfunding, and I will leave a link in the description. This is a very satisfying case to own. That feeling of popping endless sheets of bubble wrap, well, it never really has to leave you. It's definitely a polarizing one. Some people I've showed it to cannot stand it, and other people feel like they've just found their new life partner. Just take a listen to this. To be really honest, I have no idea what kind of person this case was made for. But in my search for the strangest smartphone cases, I stumbled across a company that tries to recreate household products. So if you did want to dress your phone up as a bottle of cleaning fluid, including a spray nozzle that of course doesn't work, then this is the way to go. It's completely dumb, very pointless, and I pity the person who's trying to fit this in their pocket, but at the same time, you can't argue that it isn't eye-catching. Now we've got a case that is ridiculous, but in an impressive way. The Tutti Frutti cases from company Lout are friction activated, while on the face of it they just look like standard hard-shell backs. When you rub on the fruit icons, the case releases the scent of the respective fruit you're rubbing. I've shown it to quite a few people now, and the reactions that this gets are pretty impressive. And there are a whole bunch of different options depending on what fruit you like. On a slightly unrelated note, I really like the mineral cases by the same company. Not particularly crazy or ridiculous, just really slick looking. Okay, now we've got another one of those where I just can't understand the thought process behind it. If you ever wanted to play hide and seek with your smartphone on a field, I guess this would be the way of doing it. It covers the back of your phone with short-cut artificial grass. Still on the slightly prickly side. It's different though, and you probably in your life will never bump into anyone else with a grass case, so at least you'll stand out. I know the whole fidget toy trend is kind of calming down a little bit, but until a couple of weeks ago, I'd never seen one that attaches to the back of your smartphone, like this one does. It tells you to use a piece of double-sided tape to stick it onto the back of your smartphone, or whatever case you're currently using on it. And I gotta say, I've tried some really, truly terrible fidget toys in the past, but this one kind of impressed me. Each toy feels significantly different from the other, but also tactile responsive, and of decent enough quality to hold up over time. And now we're on the subject of fidget toys, here's a case that has a slightly different spin on it. Blatantly, and no doubt without permission, this phone is using the Batman logo as a fidget spinner attached to the back of your phone. The case is made of a pretty standard matte plastic, which feels okay, but because the spinner is made of metal, it brings up the overall quality, and you can probably see these chrome highlights on the bat's wings. It's a nice touch, and it allows the case to reflect light in quite an interesting way. For the people who've always wanted to own a supercar but whose budget can't quite stretch, someone's decided this is the next best thing. It throws minimalism out the window, but if this was something you were into, then it's not a bad looking case, although the construction is completely made of plastic. You can also fold out the back and use it to stand your phone up. Not something I personally use, but cool thing to have, I guess. This next one is going to split people into two groups, those of you scratching your head wondering why on earth you would bother, and others who decide in an instant that they actually want one. Essentially, it is a battery-powered games console attached to the back of your smartphone. But games console might be giving it too much credit here. We're talking Nokia 3310 quality games. When I saw this case for the first time, I almost had to just take a minute, just to appreciate the vast pointlessness of it. It is a single, solid, dense silicon chunk, so as you can imagine pretty heavy, pretty uncomfortable to hold, in the shape of an ear. It actually gets slightly more ridiculous when, I guess you're trying to answer a call, you lift this to your head, and yeah, I don't think I need to say any more. I'm actually a little bit torn about this one. I absolutely hate the way it looks, but it is the softest, maybe the most comfortable smartphone case I've ever laid hands on. Unfortunately, these three giant fluff balls mean the phone barely fits in your pocket once it's on. Alright guys, so that was a bit of a new series. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you're new around here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, would really mean a lot to me. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'll catch you guys next time.